welcome back to another art video. Today I am painting birds, ptarmigans, and more specifically rock ptarmigans from Europe. I was going to write a script for today's video, but it seems I am never going to do that, so if I'm gonna get this video published, then I just have to sit down and do this voiceover. You get what you get. It might be a little bit rambly, but hopefully interesting and maybe some good advice. We'll see. Alright, so winter is coming, so I thought it would be fun to paint some ptarmigans. I painted one around this time last year, and it was kind of a hit on my Instagram, so I thought I would do some more this year. I also figured I would do a couple from different angles because birds are just so weird, like they fluff up and they all look so different. I decided to experiment with the colors a bit, and do I regret it? No, because I did learn something. I learned that I don't like highly saturated colors. I mean, I kind of already knew that, but I've just been kind of pushing things a bit, and I think I found the line because they don't look traditional. I like traditional paintings, and these just look a little too digital to me. It also is partly because these are white. Painting a white object is quite tricky, and I didn't give myself a whole lot of room with the mid-value background that I have. So the surrounding colors kind of needed to be brighter to make it more interesting, I thought. That's definitely something to kind of play around with in the future, is like how to paint a white subject but still keep all the colors really earthy and muted, but not uninteresting. So maybe when I paint willow ptarmigans, I'll do a little bit better. And it's not that these paintings are bad, it's just that they're not really to my taste. And I'm sharing this because I think it's interesting when other artists say, yeah, this didn't really turn out the way I wanted, I personally don't really like it, but I'll look at it and think, no, that's good, I like it. And I'm sure other people do too. So sometimes it's not that the art is bad or that you messed up, it's just that personally you don't really like it, but other people might. And sometimes you can even see why the artist might not like that particular painting that they did. Maybe you can see that it's just not really their style, something is different about it. So it's understandable. Anyway, that's what happened here. I really like the little black feathers on this guy's head. And tail. Oh, and the eyebrows. It just makes it interesting, because a solid white bird would be very uninteresting to paint, but those little details are perfect. Normally on my paintings I have quite a harsh edge. Like that purple background would have quite a harsh edge where it ends against the paper, if that makes sense. But I saw a neat oil painting where it was kind of dry brushed and that border kind of just faded out, like kind of like a vignette, but it wasn't blended out, it was dry brushed out. And I liked how that looked, so I tried it on this painting. You can see here I'm merging a couple different reference pictures because I like the pose of the bird on the top, but I wanted to paint one of these birds with kind of a cross between the winter and summer coat. Is it called a coat when it's a bird? Plumage. A cross between the summer and winter plumage. Sometimes people will message me and say, I'm also an avid birder, and I'm like, what do you mean also? I just like painting them. I have surprised myself though with the birds I've been able to identify. I saw some ibises up here in Alberta and I thought I was going crazy. I actually need to message someone about that. I don't know who. Like, who do you tell, hey, the ibises have changed their range, this is where I spotted them? I don't know. I need to look into that. I also identified a scissor-tailed kite. I have no idea how I knew that. Just in some guidebook I must have seen like the silhouette, what they look like when they're flying, and I remembered that. I don't know how. Anyway, I would say I'm a casual birder and an avid painter. Alright, let's get back to talking about the painting. The middle reference is a close-up of a painting that I like and wanted to kind of draw some inspiration from because it has all the colors that I want to use. Honestly, I really didn't do a good job of drawing inspiration from it. The colors are off quite a bit. You wouldn't even know that I was using that painting as a reference, but oh well, I tried. I'm gonna keep doing that in the future because I think that's a good way to study color and also kind of a way to blend master studies with my own work. Not painting directly from a photo, but actually improving it. The artist is Alfred Jan Maximilian Kowalski. Kowalski? I don't know how to speak Polish. I want to turn everything into German. I hope W's also make a V sound in Polish. I'm pretty happy with the job I did of the feathers on this painting. I have a hard time with patterns like stripy, really complicated feathers. I find them quite tricky to do. I think some artists will use like texture overlays and kind of like warp it to the form, but I don't really like working that way. I like to treat it like it's a traditional painting, but I also have very little patience, so that's kind of two things working against each other when it comes to painting complex patterns. It really helped that this guy wasn't entirely brown, because that would have been a lot to deal with, but just having like more complexity in the chest area and then a couple random feathers that are more complex made it easier to deal with and to tackle and practice. This isn't really much of a process, but what I did was a very light pass with watercolor, and then over top a little bit more saturation and a little bit darker with a small brush, directionally, like the direction that the fibers of the feather would go, and then a little bit darker again going the other way, like the direction of the stripy patterns. And then I think I took a blender brush and then gently went over that again directionally, like the direction of the fibers. And having slightly rough edges to these darker areas also helps because feathers fray a bit and they don't have like a perfect hard edge. Now I'm trying to add a bit of a background, which I definitely struggle with. I took inspiration from this painting. I like the way that he painted the grass, and you know what? It was an okay attempt for my first time painting grass. Second time painting grass? It turned out alright. It works. All three of these paintings are like, I tried something new, good on me for trying. I don't really like it that much, but I'll do better next time. Especially with this last painting, it's like, yeah, good attempt at like a really icy cold color scheme, but it kind of looks a bit childish and I don't like it. But I tried, and I think I can do a bit better next time. Alrighty, be sure to, that sounded very Canadian, be sure to like and subscribe if you want to follow along with my art journey. Hope you have a wonderful day.